Michelle Obama is in therapy and working on some kind of transition, she says. I don't know what she's transitioning into. Maybe you can help me in the comments below. Welcome to Doug in Exile. Let me get a light on my face to remove some wrinkles. There we go. That's like plastic surgery right there. Thanks for hanging with me. Let's get to these news. I got a bunch of articles set up. The Obamas are the fakest couple. That is the media. It's not even their fault. The media made them into something they're not and then jammed it down your throat. They're supposed to be this cool. They're so cool. These are two, especially Michelle, one of the most miserable people you'll ever see. Miserable, grouchy, glum, negative, rich, entitled, and she complains all the time. If they were honest about her, that's what they would say. Here's the first article. Michelle Obama reveals she's in therapy as she goes through life transition. They said it, not me. I finished a really hard thing in my life with my family intact. The former First Lady said, first of all, hats off to anyone who makes it with your family intact. I'm on the tail end of my kids about to move out of the house. I've got my oldest daughter's a nurse out of college. My one son is a junior in college, about to become a senior. My daughter is a sophomore in college. These are all Christian universities. And then my youngest is about to graduate high school and join the Marines. And the empty house is looking at the beloved Miss Tenaple and I in the face every day and smacking us going, this place got a whole lot bigger and it's a whole lot quieter. What are you going to do with the rest of your life? So I get what they're going through. And I'm rooting for any married couple. Here's Michelle Obama, the grouchiest woman on the planet. Former First Lady Michelle Obama has revealed she's in therapy to help her transition into the next phase of her life. You know, maybe go to a pastor instead of a therapist, Michelle. That's my first piece of advice to anybody. Go to your pastor. If it's a spiritual problem or an empty heart problem, turn to the Lord. Turn to your pastor. Therapists, they can make scrambled eggs out of your brain. And I like me a good therapist too. I haven't been to one in 20 years. Try everything, I get it. But therapist, it's so shishy. It's so New York. It's so, I would never go to a pastor. I'm going to go to a therapist and he'll prescribe me the happy pills. The 60-year-old has been married to former U.S. Barack Obama since 1992. I've been married to Miss Tenaple longer than they've been married. And shares $2. Malia, 26, and Sasha, 23, with a Democrat, which is pretty rare when you're a Democrat and you've stayed married, goodness, and have children. Last month, Obama was forced to address rumors that she and Barack were getting divorced after he attended Jimmy Carter's funeral and Donald Trump's second presidential inauguration alone. Look, Michelle Obama, not a great date. I would go alone too. What a happy time she must be. Speaking on the Jay Shetty, I kid you not, it's called Shetty podcast, the former First Lady said of her current headspace, at this phase in my life, I'm in therapy right now because I'm transitioning, you know? Boy, that is not a good phrase. Guys, I should make t-shirts of this. At this phase of my life, I'm in therapy right now because I'm transitioning. I'm 60 years old. I've finished a really hard thing in my life with my family intact. I'm an empty nester. My girls are in, they've been launched. Sounds like she's having some kind of a weird identity crisis, but that's okay. I think a lot of people deal with that when your kids leave the home and you look at your wife and you, after being occupied with just dealing with your kids, or in their case, 2 terms as president, and they're going, now what can we possibly destroy worse than America now that we're done with our candidacy? From the Daily Beast. Michelle Obama reveals what drove her to therapy. Probably not a Tesla, because she probably burned it and keyed a swastika in the side of the door, if you know what I mean, if she's a good Democrat. Former First Lady Michelle Obama has revealed what made her seek therapy. I mean, besides the obvious, Fresh from setting the record straight on rumors about a divorce from Barack, Michelle was back on the podcast circuit, this time on Jay Shetty's On Purpose. I've listened to that podcast before, and I'll confirm it is a Shetty podcast. The 60-year-old British host that she is going through a transition, referring to her life, politics, her age, and her 2 daughters becoming adults. At this phase in my life, I'm in therapy right now because why do you go to therapy, people? You don't need to go to therapy. That's basically paying someone. She probably pays them, $1,000 an hour to ask her, Michelle, how do you feel? Michelle tells her, how do you feel? And then you always do a follow-up question of, and how does that make you feel? And she goes, oh, I feel really upset. And how does that make you feel? And she goes, "Oh, it makes me feel old and wasted, like my whole life has passed before me. My best years are behind me, and I look forward to just slowly getting older and less relevant." Oh, and how does that feel? Oh, and my just the wrinkles. This is me looking in the morning, just like the wrinkles and the plight of man. My mortality is coming and smacking me in the face. And the therapist goes, and how does that make you feel? Wow, just like, the kids don't need me anymore. They're out on their own. I can be a pretty good therapist. New York Post, their take on the whole thing. Michelle Obama reveals she's in therapy as she focuses on her next phase while divorce rumors swirl. This is kind of evidency, in my opinion, on the divorce thing. Former Obama vacation retreat on Martha's Vineyard goes on sale for $39 million. House goes up for sale amid Michelle Obama divorce rumors. Now, this was the house where they murdered their chef. No, I mean, they found him drowned after a waterboarding accident, and they're dumping that place probably full of ghosts. I would not want to live in a house with that many ghosts in it, too. I see why they'd want to dump it, but also convenient. Remember, these are rich people, guys. These are like elite. This is America's royalty. The king and queen, Obama and Michelle, they're black. We have a black minority king and queen that have told us they're victims. They're terrified. They're on the losing end of the stick. These rich elites, you and I, we sell our home. Oh, I hope I can clear maybe $100,000 in equity. Maybe they're like, we'll clear our $39 million home. You can buy a country for that in some places. And Michelle's like, oh, had it so tough. It was, that's really trying to give yourself credit. Like, what a slog. Look, I've got blue collar roots also, lower middle class roots. Every time I tell you that, what I'm really saying is I live in a nice house because I'm awesome. And that I don't want to communicate to you. I've been blessed. I've been lucky. I've been the gift of others' kindness. I've been the gift of opportunities, of being born in America at this time, showered with blessings I did not earn and I did not achieve on my own. That really needs to be the headline of my story. And then if you don't make it and you've been thrown into a meat grinder and you've had nothing but bad luck and sadness that is not your fault, that's probably also true. Some people are dealt a good hand and some people are dealt a crappy hand. In the Bible, God says, the Lord sends rain on the good and the bad. It's not about, you don't go like, hey, my life didn't turn out. It's because I'm being punished. That's circumstantial Christianity, and that I do not believe in looking at your circumstances to determine if you're holy or not. New article. This is on Sora News. You guys don't get enough news from Japan, so I'm bringing it to you straight from Japan. I've been to Japan 5 times. I love that country. I love their little products they make. However, this product I don't like so much. It's called, they're taste testing Japan's I Love Obama cakes. These are the I Love Obama cakes. And I'm just going to zoom in on look at this a little bit. What do you notice about these cakes? They're white. They're albino white. They're vanilla. They're whiter than my skin. Here's another headline. I got one more after this one, so hold tight. The Obamas aren't going to rescue the Democrats. Good. This is by Jim Garrity. But we'll turn our attention to a recent comment by former First Lady Michelle Obama about the financial costs of living in the White House and contemplate the transition from the Democrats' post-Obama era to the post-Obama era. The Democrats are done being able to use the Obamas, our royal couple, to rescue them. Now, here's a typical way that the media reports on Obama. Obama steps out with rarely seen sister, Ama Obama. What about his mama and Ama Obama? There's something undeniably cool about watching Barack Obama navigate post-presidency like a suave dad joke dropping international man of mystery. If you have not thrown up yet, I'm going to spare you the rest of that article because we're laughing as the Obamas pray for Michelle that she go to a pastor instead of a therapist. I'm Doug in Exile.